Today, we are going to talk about marketing jobs that will be replaced by AI. So we're doing this episode not to scare you, but there's a lot of stuff that's happened, especially in the last 12 months or so. And we think AI is going to really pick up quite a bit just moving forward in general. And it's going to change everything for marketing. And so I'll give an example first before we get started. You see the Googles, the Metas of the world, actually their AIs are machine learning, right? Machine learning is part of AI. They're doing a really good job of optimization when it comes to ads, right? There's less and less kind of human reliance there. So I would say that I believe that a marketing job that's going to be replaced in the long term is going to be people that are just solely doing the executional work on paid media. And again, this is not to try to scare people, but just when innovation comes, there's a deflationary aspect where people are going to, lose their jobs in one area and then they have to kind of reskill into another one. So that's one area that I strongly believe long term.
Well, with paid ads, I still think that the people will be needed for a lot of the creativity side,
For
for a
sure.
lot of the tweaking side, because the issue that you have with a lot of the platforms is they do what's best for them and not necessarily what's best for you.
So I will say I agree in the very last sentence you made. They'll do what's best for them. And also on the creativity piece, the tweaking piece, I think it's going to come down to how well do you tell the AI what to do using chat GPT prompts and things like that. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, the other thing that I believe is going to end up happening is content ideation. Yes, you can end up using people for it, which a lot of companies do, but AI can actually do most of the work for you. And then you can then go and tweak the ideas. So for example, Eric and I record this podcast. We used to have someone manually go and list out ideas, and then we would pick the ones we would want and then record them. Now what we do, we just go out there, pop in some keywords and some AI tools. They'll give us a list, delete the ones we don't like, modify the ones we do like, and we're off into the races. And that helps us save so much time. Same with content creation. You can use a lot of the AI tools for content creation. We've talked about this in previous episodes. It does create duplicate content unless you are careful and you're really guiding them per paragraph on what you want created. So you got to check for plagiarism and you got to tweak heavily. If you don't tweak heavily, the quality of the content isn't that great. And I'm telling you, you will not rank high. We've looked at a lot of data from AI sites because we have quite a few AI sites that we track. And what we found is the AI sites just don't do as well. And it's obvious, right? There's so much content for any keyword. Google's already really good at picking the amazing pages to rank really high. And to create really amazing pages, you need humans. I'm not saying AI can't get better than humans in the long run, but in the next 12 months, I just don't see it happening.
Yep. So actually, I want to show everyone a practical example of the last kind of 2 podcast sessions that we did. And so here you can actually see, before I started today, I was like, hey, please give me 20 podcast topics on marketing trends with catchy headlines. So it gives me these 20, right? And I'm like, okay, maybe we pick 3 or 4 of these. And then I was like, okay, give me another 15. And it gives me another 15 over here. And so what we had previously was someone that was actually scouring different newsletters. This person was scouring different newsletters, and then they would write in our headlines channel in Slack, and then I would pick off maybe 3 or 4 of them. Now I just go into a tool like this, and it'll maybe get me 60 to 70% of the way there. And then the last mile, I have to do the driving, right? It's kind of similar to what Neil's saying too with when we think about headline creation, or when we think about topic creation, or writing email copy or subject lines and things like that, right? So it can get you 60, 70, maybe 80% of the way there, but then you need someone to do the rest. Now, I think what that's going to enable is that you're going to be able to hire people from third world countries, so lower cost, right? And then you just need to teach them how to pilot these AI tools, whether it is Stable Diffusion to create art or maybe landing pages, or you can use tools like ChatGPT or Jasper to help you with the copy side of things. So the prediction, or one of the things I think is going to be replaced too, is the creation of landing pages at a baseline level is going to be replaced by these tools. I still think human creativity is going to continue to drive it because AIs need data to work off of. So creativity is going to continue to push the boundaries, but AI is not going to be that far behind, and that's going to be really good enough for, I think, 95% of people out there.
Same with the chat people, right? One of our friends, Yaniv, has a company called Nextiva. And I remember him telling both Eric and I, 1/3 of their sales come from people just buying from the website. 1/3 roughly comes from phone sales, like people dialing into the 800 number. And 1/3 is coming from live chat, helping people out. When you think about live chat, you got to train people. They may not always give the best responses. you can end up doing quite a bit with some of these AI tools because they can have this big repository of information and they look at patterns and you can train them on their models, and they can probably do a much better job at responding to some of these requests than people. And over time, when people need to intervene, they can intervene and take it over. But at the beginning, the AI tools can answer the basic questions and they can probably do a much better / thorough job of it.
I think the heuristic everyone should use here is, what job can really be automated ultimately, where there's a lot of patterns, there's a lot of data to work off of. To oversimplify things, when we think about the calculator, like the calculator's sole job is just to calculate numbers, and it does it better than any human being out there, right? Now we're seeing a lot of things that are a lot different. Like I'm asking it to model out the IRR of a company that is doing X revenue over Y period of time, and it literally does that, right? It gives me the formula for it too. It's kind of nuts. And to Neil's point, the final thing from my side I'll say is on customer support, going back to the Nextiva chat example, is like, look at the billions of lines like support that you've done, and just all you have to do is kind of extrapolate the highly rated customer support tickets, right? That are like 10 out of 10, like super happy. And then just pull from that data and you have customer support right there, right? And that's not to say you shouldn't keep your top agents, but what happens to the bottom half? They're probably gonna be replaced.
And what you'll find over time is as the AI gets better and better with visual creation, Eric and I have talked about that in past episodes where you can just tell some of these softwares like, add me to a photo of a forest, remove the sunlight, make it dark, add a snake in, and add an apple in my hand. Like literally you can get that specific and they'll start modifying the image in real time and just showing you what you're looking for. You're going to start seeing things like thumbnails being easier to create, video content with things like deepfake, just a lot of, multimedia type of stuff will just be easier and easier for you to create. Or it's like, imagine AI understanding your voice, learning how you're talking, and you can just put in a topic and it can just create a podcast episode for you. It'll eventually get there. Will the quality be there? Time will tell, but it'll eventually get there where it can create mediocre content for you. A mass scale for any channel.
All right. So that is it for today. If you want to come hang out with Neil and I in Miami, February 12th to the 14th, which is coming up very soon, go to levelingup.com/founders. Got a few spots left.